want to really commend VZ and his team for putting quite a lot of effort in making this facility a world-class facility, and I'm sure that our visitors will definitely enjoy the Kenyan hospitality as it is known. And so on the side of security, everything has been put in place. The IG was here yesterday, and the IG is going to be here again today. We intended to do this dry run in the afternoon today, but we decided to surprise the people to know that whether they are getting on well. And we are very, very happy that work going on is commendable.
Good afternoon, everyone, from wherever you are watching us from. Welcome to the Touchline. Today, we start on a sad note. After the loss of Interior Cabinet Secretary, retired Major General Joseph Nkaissery. That was one of the last speeches he made in preparations for the IAAF Under-18 Championships here in Kenya, and that was at the Kenyatta University in preparations for the IAAF village that is there. He said he was sure that we are going to have this event. It is a sad note on the touchline, and many sports journalists out there that interacted with retired Major General Joseph Nkaissery can tell you he was a tough man, considering everything has to be in order for the Under-18 Championship that are slated to start on the 12th of July to the 16th of July 2017 here in Kenya. The touchline finally starts from there, and we say RIP to retired Major General Joseph Nkaissery. Well, from wherever you are watching us from, welcome to the touchline. It is that time of the week that we bring you the best of what has been happening in the world of sports. Today, I'm with a different co-host. Our major man co-host here, the pundit himself, Maxwell Wasike, is up in Mombasa for Diani Beach Rugby. The man decided to enjoy SGR travel there. But I'm joined by prominent sports journalist Ronnie Aloyo.
Pleasure.
Welcome, man. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good.
Before we start the show and discuss everything that has been happening on the show this week, I've got to ask you, what is your best memory and how do you remember retired Major General Joseph Nkaissery?
It's really a sad moment, and our condolences to the family and the friends of retired Major General. He's been an integral part of the Kenyan sports industry, in the sense that he's really been on the front line in trying to ensure that sports activities are secure. Security is an integral part of any sports event. So the clip we've just played a moment ago shows him at Kenyatta University while we were preparing for the Under-18 Championship. He was really on the front line together with the CS Wario, trying to encourage participants and fans to come out in large numbers, because he assured us there was security, and he was doing everything he could see to ensure there was security. So a really sad moment, and we condole with the family and the friends.
Well, retired Major General Joseph Nkaissery died this morning at the current hospital. His body has already arrived at the Lee Funeral Home as they prepare for his funeral. We don't know yet if it will be a state funeral, but the Education Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i has already been appointed acting Interior Cabinet Secretary, as the preparations for his burial and final send-off will be happening here in Kenya. Follow the hashtag RIP Nkaissery, and also join our sister channel, KBC Channel 1, for everything that is happening now. It is breaking news. Retired Major General Joseph Nkaissery died this morning at 3 a.m. and also he passed away at the age of 67. Now, it is time we head to the sports pages here on the touchline. Today, the biggest story that broke this week was KPL Nabamba. Now, after 6 months in the cold, the Kenya Premier League finally has a local broadcast partner, FTA, in Radio Africa Group, Bamba Sports. The deal is worth 37 million shillings here in Kenya. It is worth 100 shillings in monetary value, but we are going to discuss that one. And Ronnie, I'll ask you, how do you feel so far? 6 months in the cold, Super Sport is off, we were in darkness, these games were not on air, but Radio Africa is back and is saying we can help you bring these games back on air.
At the moment, we are just rubbing our hands in delight. We just can't wait to see the football back on the TV. It's been long. You almost think it's been ages, really. When SuperSport just left suddenly, it was really dark for us. Now Bamba has come in. It's good in two ways. First, we are on TV, and second, it's on free to air, so there's no limitation. Even those people in remote areas can now watch the game, so it's a really beautiful thing for football in this country to be back on TV.
And when you look at the way the deal is structured, 36.7 million is the one that is given to the KPL for the teams. We've got 24 million for production, and then you have got 40 million for activations, promotions, and advertisement. But the big question is that free-to-air TV, is it the best part for the Kenyan? Because when it comes to pay TV production, not everybody can manage to get into a pay TV platform and watch. For FTA, is it the perfect model to go forward for the KPL?
Sure, it's the perfect model because you see it's a changing world. When the government brought in the digital migration program, then it meant that something has to change. So FTA is the best thing that can happen to football at the moment. I've seen Bamba has gone an extra mile. They're doing lots of their programs on live stream on Facebook. I think that's the next big thing they should be doing. We've seen Fox Sports has partnered with Facebook to air the Champions League. Yes. Live from next season. So I think that's also an area Bamba Sports should be looking at. Yeah.
Many changes happening in the technology world, and also it is coming back to football and the sports at large, and we are happy that KPL is back on TV and those matches will be live. Remember, Bamba Sport will be covering both the NSL and the KPL as we head on to next season. But this discussion will be having it in detail with also Samuel Gasharira from Mathare United, also a journalist with Soccer Magazine, and they will be helping us delve into this deal and see how good is it for the Kenya Premier League. But also, another thing that happened this week was the FIFA rankings, and Kenya dropped 10 places down from 74 to 84. How about that? Our loss to Sierra Leone seems to have ended the unbeaten run for Stanley Okumbi.
Yeah, he took a big hit on the things Okumbi has been doing. You see, Okumbi had not lost in 10 matches. Then we go to Sierra Leone, we lose in a somewhat controversial manner. And it was a really bitter loss for the team, for the country, and for the coach himself. So that kind of loss to Sierra Leone really had to hit us hard, and you can see it on the rankings. I just hope the next match something really big can happen. It couldn't be really big because it's Ghana, and you know what Ghana means. Ghana means business. So yeah. Tough one really.
Well, this conversation also goes on social media. You can talk to us using the hashtag Touchline Y254 on Facebook, Touchline Y254. I'm joined by Ronnie Aloyo from the Kenyan Star, a journalist majorly for football, but also in the other disciplines is well versed. And the man is from Kenyatta University. You guys have got to be happy that the IAAF under 18, the village is there. You already now have a 3-star hotel in your school.
You see, one thing I've been trying to push over the years through my sports columns and such is, I'd want Kenya to be like the United States of America, whereby colleges and universities form a really integral part of the sports industry. This can only be done when universities have enough facilities, have enough equipment, have enough coaches. So it's a really good thing that it's the IAAF village is in Kenyatta University. It will really lay a very good foundation for the future for sports in Kenyatta University. KU has been producing most people in the arts industry, yes. But now we see the future looks bright in the sports industry, really.
Yeah. And also this Monday and Tuesday coming next week, as we are heading into the championship, you'll be hosting the pre-game symposium. One question I asked Professor Nyang' Nyong'o back in the day was, is the lack of sports literature here in Kenya hindering our sports? And with the start of a symposium that is mostly academic going into these games, do you think sports literature will play a hand going forward in our sports development?
It will, but for me, that's not really where the biggest problem is. The biggest problem lies in facilities and structures. Once you have the facilities, once you have the structures, you really know we have the pitches, we have structures to train the young kids, then that will make it happen. But it's a really good thing that the symposium is happening. It's a good place to start. The discussion is on, so very good thing for sports and for university and college sports in Kenya.
Well, that one was not on our program here, the sports pages, but I had to jump in because the IAAF under-18 is coming into Kenya. But a big game today at 4. Simba ni moja, Kenya versus Tunisia at the RFUA. Kenya will be going ahead in Tunisia in the Africa Gold Cup. How good are we going forward? We drew against Uganda 33-33, and they exposed our weaknesses. But we still have a team. We are going forward. We haven't lost to Tunisia in 8 consecutive matches that we have played against them. How are we looking? Are we good to go against Tunisia?
We are good to go, but as it's been said, it will certainly win this match. The fashion in which you do it is what matters the most. Uganda exposed a couple of weaknesses in our match, so I hope the technical bench can work that around today. Today, all eyes will be on the team. We've seen a couple of changes, like Leo Sage is coming in to start, so I expect a change side. I expect some improvements in the areas of weaknesses that we witnessed against Uganda. A very big match, not really to win, but just to look at how we fix our weak areas.
As we are coming to the end of this segment, I've got to ask you, before we discuss rugby in detail, franchise rugby versus country rugby, because our captain Andrew Amonde, Nelson Ayo, most of the players who were in the 7th circuit have decided to go to Sri Lanka to play Super Rugby. Franchise game, a lot of money, and decided day 15th we can give it a lot of leeway. What is your take on players going for franchise rugby and leaving the competitive rugby?
During the naming of the 15th side earlier this week, the team manager Wangila Simio was really upset because he says we've nurtured the likes of Oliech, we've brought them to the team. They are now here, they are known players, but now they've decided to desert us. I really don't think the problem is the players. We all know that sports is a short career. The money is a very important aspect of the game. So certainly, although country comes first, but sometimes you really have to look at the future. You really have to look at the finances. The Sri Lanka tournament is paying them a year about 0.5 million. So I think any sports person really would easily jump there unless they have something really strong to the country. But it's also really sad. It's also really sad that a player of Amonde's caliber would leave the national team and go to play in Sri Lanka.
We have got a full segment on the Kenya versus Tunisia preview analysis with David Okuyaman from KCB RFC, and also Ronnie Aloy will be joining us there to talk about that segment. But before we leave that one, I gotta ask you, you watch the NBA. Did you see James Michael play? How good were they going into the finish line of winning the conference finals and also winning the NBA finals against the Cleveland Cavaliers?
They were very good. I think it was more of a team effort. It was more of a team effort. We all know basketball is a team sport. I think it was a good result for them. My strong focus is on the team effort. They played as a team, and a good result for them.
I had to put Ronnie on the spot because on our next feature of Off the Touchline, we featured James Michael. The power forward of NBA two-time champion Golden State Warriors was in town last week on a Kawangware, at the Hope Center Kawangware, on a basketball clinic for a theme-based One Die for All. The man grew up in the slums and the inner cities in America, but managed to get into basketball and play for the Golden State Warriors. Can you believe it? He's got 2 rings in his hand. Off the Touchline is up next.
We made sure you were not left out as our champions made the world stand still in Beijing in 2015. You also did not miss out in their triumphant performance in Rio Olympics a year later. We will make sure you are not left behind as the new generation takes over the mantle in the IAAF World Under-18 Championship as Nairobi welcomes the best of the world.
nonprofit organization that's based out of the United States. We try to provide hope to anyone that feels hopeless, and we try to provide community. We want to share Christ. We want to provide health care. We want to provide a safe haven for anyone that needs refuge. Universal. Everyone loves sports, and so we can offer sports and bring players. It allows kids from the community to get excited and get in here and play and be a part of the community. They are lovely people. They love Jesus. They're here to serve. They've taught so many kids how to play and how to take care of themselves. And they have one heart, and that's to help people and to love the Lord. They want to come back every year. They want to bring more players, and we're super excited.
More, too much, or whatever, okay? Watch out. Go out the way. Okay, ready, set, go.
This is our 5th day here. It's been absolutely amazing. Not just the country or the city of Nairobi, but just people and how loving and nice they are to us and just really taking such good care of us. It's been nothing but amazing. They've been great. I tell my dad whenever we get back just how respectful they are and how humble they are and hungry to learn. It's nothing like I've ever seen before, and I've been so excited to wake up each and every day and work with the kids. They're getting better. This is our 3rd day of camp, and they've already improved so much. Some of these kids are very talented. Some of them are just playing the game for the first time, but we're just having a lot of fun. Having grown up around the game of basketball, and both my parents and sister having played, and having started at a young age has helped me become the basketball player I am today, which is why I think it's so important to work with these kids, especially the younger kids that we do in the mornings, and really just try to teach them the fundamentals and really just help them learn the game. The kids are just as talented as any kids that I've seen at our camp back in the States, and I mean that. The kids are very obedient, they listen, and they go out there and they do what they tell you to do. And as a coach, and as someone that's been in their shoes, that's all you can do. It's amazing. Obviously, it's the best basketball league in the world. So I just feel so blessed by God to be able to play the game of basketball that I love so much and get paid. So that's why I take things like this very seriously when I have the opportunity to go to different places and teach young kids, because I was their age at one time, and I just want to inspire them that they can do anything they put their mind to, and I really mean that. I look forward to coming back here for years to come and hopefully bringing in a lot more of my teammates and guys from the NBA to come here and just see how great the game of basketball is here in Nairobi. It's been amazing just to see kids grow up and become leaders in the community, go on to college, get great jobs. Some of them have even gone on to play professionally. Myself, obviously in the NBA, but other guys have gone over to play in different leagues. I think it's great what this camp does. It just gives kids an opportunity to come in, learn how to be a great person, a great basketball player, and learn about the love of Jesus.
The One Die for All is a ministry that we started 14 years ago to impact young people's lives, particularly in the States, in the inner city. We saw the devastation of drugs and alcohol and teen pregnancy, realizing that the impact that Christ has had in my life and so many others, that we started this ministry to share the love of Jesus Christ. And so we are so blessed by World Hope, by one of the board members who we met a year ago, a guy by the name of Roy Mack, who gave us an opportunity to bring One Die for All to Kenya. And so we're so thankful for the opportunity and World Hope for this opportunity to be here. Well, we use basketball because basketball is like a universal language. Everybody loves to play basketball. And so we come here and we basketball sort of like a carrot to draw these kids in and just to try to love on them and encourage them and tell them about the love of Jesus Christ, and hopefully that will impact their life in a positive way.
We also have a connection, we also have a connection to some colleges in the United States that if we see a child who has the potential to play at the next level, then we could be the connecting force between Kenya and the United States. That child could go to school in the United States with the hope that they would come back and keep investing in the younger generation. So our hope is that we would take this young generation, raise them up to be good basketball players, and see where God would take them and use them. Two different ways it impacts. It impacts athletes, but it also impacts children spiritually. And so we've seen children who've been able to go on to college with their athleticism, but more importantly to us is we've seen young men and women come to know Jesus Christ, and they then turn around and serve him in their chosen field. We had a young man who came to Christ who went to University of Virginia on a football scholarship. He has finished his 4 years at UVA. He is now going into full-time ministry with younger athletes, hoping to do the same thing that we did with him, he hopes to do with them. So we have seen a great impact. He's an NBA champion.
He's a two-time NBA champion.
We just ride on his coattails.
But what's so amazing is what I was telling the guys yesterday, that we started this camp. This is our 14th year. And James Michael grew up in this camp.
He was 10 when we started.
He was 10 years old when we started this camp. And to see this young 10-year-old go from one dive for all to a two-time NBA champion, it's just amazing.
And James Michael understands the platform that he's been given because of his success in the NBA. He takes that platform and uses it as an opportunity to talk about basketball, but also to talk about the love of Jesus Christ. In Kenya, it's been wonderful. They've been open. The children already know a little bit about God and about church, so they're very receptive. They're very open to talking about Jesus Christ. It's been pretty good.
Yeah.
It's
been positive.
I think it's been very positive, yeah. I think here maybe a little bit more positive than even in the United States. Just have to wait and see how it develops. This particular time we wanted to come and just experience it ourselves, but also sort of go on an expedition and see how can we make it better? How can we bless the country of Kenya? It was told to us that when it rains, that blessings are coming. We had so many people who gave us basketballs, they gave us equipment to bring over, that we are leaving here, and at the same time that we're training the children, we're training the coaches that will stay here. It is our hope, we're only here for a week, it is our hope that once we leave, the coaches that we're training will then take the things that we've left them. People purchase the hoops, people gave us funds to purchase basketballs, the pennies, the workout equipment that you see was all donated. It will all stay here in hopes of blessing the Kenyan people.
And the coaches have already assured me that when we come back next year, these kids are going to be a little bit better because the coaches are going to take what we're giving them and they're going to work with them until we return. Yes. We are open to going wherever God would open a door for one dive for all to go.
We've already had an invitation to Uganda and Tanzania. So yes, we're very open to that. Very open to that.
Listen up. We're going to do some plyometric training here. We're going to do resistance running. We're going to do